Okay, so the items on this plate, this is called the Seder plate because it's called the Seder meal, and this is any type of bitter herb, and we'll actually start with this item early in the process, and then this is something called haraset, and it is made with apples and nuts, and then something sweet, and it's to actually represent the mortar that they used in Egypt. You know, when they putting together bricks and things. This is to represent that.
Wait, somebody may need to translate because you're talking a little fast and I
Okay.
You too.
Okay. So this is the bitter herbs. Okay, and it represents just the how bad slavery was.
Page
Oh.
2.
Oh, 那个就是拿来
Yeah, it's all on page 2, so that makes it easier.
哦，
Okay. So these are the bitter herbs. I think someone's going to translate. I think
Someone needs to
Oh,
find
thank you.
these.
so. These are the bitter
那
herbs,
那个是苦，它是苦菜啊。
and it represents the how bad slavery was.
讲说那个以前他们在埃及当奴隶的时候是多惨、多烂、多可怕。
And this is the thing called haraset, and it's basically apples mixed with nuts and some stuff that's sweet,
有些坚果啊、苹果啊，然后一些甜的合在一起。
and it represents the mortar using to put together buildings for bricks. It's mortar you use in between bricks to make the building stand.
I don't know what more there is.
Well, that's what
It's
it
like
is.
the cement
It's
stuff
the
that's
stuff you
in
put in
between
between
the
bricks.
哦，砖块之间的连接的那个，我们讲说现代的强力胶这样。
Okay, so
水泥。
this is okay. So the hard-boiled egg is symbolic of the sacrifices made during that were brought during the time that they had the temple, and it's called the batats. It's the one at the bottom.
它就是一个，可能是要，它是要，它的一个象征那些在可以盖那些神殿的时候的牺牲嘛。是不是这样想？我不知道怎么讲。对。Hello， 我们帮你保留位置来。
Okay. Oh,
门关一下。
actually, so this is.
看红色。
Sorry, I said the wrong thing. This is the carpus. This is the vegetable. This is the bitter herb. So this is the carpus. This is the tomorrow. This is the bitter herb. So vegetable, bitter herb.
Oh.
Vegetable, bitter herb. And the bitter herb usually is horseradish. Usually it's horseradish, but we're using. You might not know what that is. This is wasabi.
Wasabi. Oh, really? How?
And it's pretty strong wasabi. We
You just
discovered
want
a little bit when we use it. Okay, and then the bone represents the mighty arm of God, which we'll hold up later. So, make sense?
那个像跟上帝有点。OK， 上那个学的
The reason you have little glasses in front of you is that we'll pour juice, grape juice, sometimes it's wine, but in our case it's grape juice, 4 times throughout the meal. And 4 times. And so we decided little glasses.
我们喝是那个红，那个葡萄汁。
Okay, so that's kind of, and this is a meal that is done in a Jewish home. It's done every year.
在犹太人的家庭都是每年都要做的事情。
And has been done every year since they left Egypt.
就是他们从埃及离开以后，到现在。
So thousands of years before Jesus came and lived on earth, they've been doing this type of meal. And it was actually commanded by God to do this. And some of these items that are done, that are used, are used because it was something that God told them to do. You know, using bread that has no leavening in it, nothing to make it rise. That was something God told them to do.
OK， 所以这个如果依照经文来看的话，这个就是这个文化呢，跟这样的一个习惯，跟他所用的一些食材等等，都是上帝吩咐命令的。
Okay, so, and then there are some other things that are very traditional as well. You'll see that in the course of the meal. This is kind of, it's not one of those really formal meals. You know, it's not like, it'll feel like a ceremony only because you've never done it before. But in a typical, like a Jewish home, this is the time where it's kind of a festive and a party, and it's
Chinese New Year.
It's Chinese New Year in a Jewish home, or in a, you know, there are Christians that were Jewish and then they became Christian, and typically they would do this meal every year as well. I've done it once in the States, attended, and I've done it twice here, and it's just kind of a fun way to understand things that when Jesus was doing things with his disciples, this is something he did. And so it just helps us understand Jesus better. Okay. So, because a lot of these things have not changed in the last 2,000 years.
这边都还好。
你要讲那样。
透过这个东西，也可以更多的参与跟了解这个耶稣他在世上的时候他做过的事情。
哦，
应该是这样讲对吧？
对。
One thing that's changed is the table is higher. Usually, for this type of meal, the table was about this high off the ground.
Oh.
And they would sit on the floor and just kind of relax and recline and lean against each other and things like that. So we won't do that. Okay, so makes sense? You want to start? You ready to start?
He's starving.
He's starving. Well, you'll have to wait a little.
你有时候说人家饿，哇，他说你很饿。
Okay,
你很饿这样。
we are on page 3.
Page 3.
Page 3.
Page
Okay.
numbers are at the top of your
Page numbers are at the top, yes.